Hey everybody, my name is Jeff Earl. I'm with J Design Speaker Enclosures. I'm owner-operator here, and just started a new YouTube channel, GuitarSpeakerCabinets, and basically the objective is to just film everything that we build here, from our standard models to custom shop items. So we're going to show all the process, so everything from selecting the wood on the custom shop items down to the finishing touches, packaging. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. All right, so what we've got here today is a 112 OSZ. The OSZ is basically like a Dr. Z Z-Best 1x12. So we're going to build this one out of pine, dovetail jointed pine, with birch baffle, birch rear panel. Customer opted for the standard 2-panel open back, semi-open back. And we're going to do that. 1/4 inch jack, all the standard hardware to match his Dr. Z Carmen Gia. So we're going to get to that. As you can see, we've got the 4 panels pre-cut. We've got them laid out. And this is how I lay stuff out for my dovetail jig. I'll get this all set up. I line everything out bottom right to the bottom right side panel, top right side panel to the top right top panel, and I do that all the way around so everything fits in my jig and there's no confusion. It's really quick. I can get all my dovetails cut on multiple cabinets when I mark everything out this way. So let's go ahead and get started cutting the dovetails. And this is probably one of the most important tools in the shop: coffee. Pieces set up in the dovetail jig, lined up properly. Alright, another thing I do on this dovetail jig is I just go over just a tiny little bit of beeswax and go over the aluminum jig here with a little bit of wax. Put a little bit on the collet on the router. And that way everything slides nice and smooth across the surface of the jig. The smoother the cut, obviously the better the fit of the joint. Alright, so those are nice clean dovetails. Do a dry fit real quick. Alright, that's a good snug fit. Get some glue in there and get them clamped. Alright, so we've got our dovetails cut. Here I've got the top right side, and we'll find the top right side for the side panel, top right side for the side panel, and we'll run our glue in. Get glue in every single one of those slots there. A little bit on the outside surface. Get that fit in there nice and tight, just so the glue is starting to push out. Just like that. See a little bit of glue pushing out. Then we'll get the other side. Okay, so I also like to give it a good squeeze from the sides. Make sure that the pins are seated in the tails really well, and start to squeeze some of the glue out. Don't go real tight with this, just when the glue starts to come out, that's when I stop. Alright, the glue's starting to come out the sides here. Get a little bit, just wipe that clean. Those joints are nice and smooth. And then we'll do a final square up here. Okay, so once we're good and square, tighten all the clamps down. That's perfectly square on both sides. While I'm letting it set for a couple hours, I'll get my baffle cut and my rear panel cut, as well as all the braces. Once I'm done with that, I can unclamp, get everything sanded up, rounded over. All right, so I got my cabinet measured out, and got a couple pieces here, Baltic birch for the rear panels. I'm going to get these cut. All right, so we got the hole drilled for the 1/4 inch jack on the top back panel. We're gonna go ahead and get a nice round over on this, so the jack plate fits in and seats in nice and tight. And this is a 1/4 inch round over and 1/4 inch high. All right, now we'll go ahead and get the baffle cut. All right, so now I'll set my blade height and get my kerf cut for the fascia and the piping. Now we've got our kerf cut. This is where the Tolex will go. This is a little strip, the kerf is where the piping goes. Okay, so now we're back over here at the router table, and I'm going to go ahead and measure out where my speaker cutout is, and get that hole cut for the speaker, and then get the holes drilled for the mounting holes for the speaker and the T-nut insert. All right, so I have this jig here. Been using this for years, almost 20 years now. This is I've got this marked out with the 12-inch spacing. This is a universal spacing. It'll fit anything from WGS speakers, Celestion speakers, Jensen, Weber, all the way up to JBLs and Electro Voice, the EV, like the EV12L. These are all universal hole spacing. So I mark this out and get those drilled. I'll get them drilled out with the 1/4 inch bit on the router. There we go. All right, so it's been a couple hours since I did the dovetail joints. The glue should be good and dry by now. I'm going to go ahead and unclamp it and get the ends sanded down a little bit, and then do my round over with the router, my 5/8 round over. So let's get going on that. All right, so I got these ends sanded down, nice and smooth here. I can go ahead and run my round over. I wish you guys could smell this. This fresh pine, nothing better. All right, let's get to Tolex.